one area that you focus a lot on is cybersecurity. With the president announcing this new executive on that issue, are we safe when it comes to a potential cyber attack?
No. And I have not seen the executive order that apparently is circulating, but we're clearly not safe. At the same time, I don't think we have to be hysterical about it, but we have to be realistic. And it affects our national security, our economic security, and there are a series of common steps, measures we can take, and the House passed 4 back in May. And so I'm hopeful that sometime between now and the end of the year that the Senate will at least take up what the House has done. If they can improve it, great, but at least begin to make progress in making our country safer in cyberspace.
Why is that a big deal? Why should people pay attention to that? Why should our government pay attention to this area?
Well, one reason is cyber underlies everything in our country now. Every time you fill up at the pump, you're involved in cyberspace. It's not just your computers at home, it's our electricity. All the infrastructure around us is now connected in some way to cyberspace. So when you are so dependent upon cyberspace, we're also vulnerable to potential attacks by nation states, by criminals, that try to get your bank account information and social security number every day, but also by terrorists. And we know that terrorists are actively looking at vulnerabilities so that they can attack us through cyberspace. Again, it doesn't mean we overreact, because most of cyberspace is owned by the private sector, not by government. So that interaction between government and the private sector is very delicate. We got to get that right. And that's part of the reason in the House we believe we should take it a step at a time.
What kind of economic damage are we talking about?
Your imagination is probably the limit. If somebody gets in and starts fooling with the banking system, if they manipulate the stock market, it's hard to imagine the consequences. But I will say, every single day, an incredible amount of wealth, intellectual property, is stolen from computer systems in the United States. Former director of the CIA says it's the greatest transfer of wealth in the world's history. These folks who come in and steal plans for a new fighter, plans for a new product, a formula, as well as your personal information. So that's why it affects our economy and our personal well-being as well as the country's